So, aloha, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. And it looks like my mic is on. So, if you could put down your profile if you want to, your human design type and profile if you know it, and your okay, good. People are commenting. So, aloha, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. There we go. Okay, so today I want to talk about the new moon, and hopefully everybody is doing well. The thing I want to say is there's and just shared this in my newsletter, is that there can be this frustration, especially if you're a generator, about feeling stuck with something. Maybe you're a projector and you're also feeling stuck, or a manifestor and you're feeling stuck, and you just want to bust a move, to move through whatever challenge that life is presenting to you at this time. This is not the time to make rash decisions, right? And choices, especially from now until the new moon on Sunday. On the mainland, it will be on Sunday. It depends where you live in the world. So just to wait it out, because we're in so much Pisces energy, and you can see okay, there we go. You can see here I've got the astro chart right here. Right? Look at all that Pisces. It's like a Pisces party. Saturn, the moon, sun, Neptune are all in Pisces for the new moon. So that can make the energy really like, you know, um, not business as usual, right? It can get pretty spaced out actually. So this is not a time to go out Friday night and go partying. With alcohol, drugs, any kind of escapist behavior. Not a good idea. This is the time to get spiritual, right? That's what this energy is telling us. It's time to focus on our spirit, our spiritual connection. Okay, so you can see here that the new moon is in the 22.4. Yeah, 22.4. And then the sun. That's what makes it the new moon, the 22.4. Okay, let's talk about these channels first, though. So we want to look at where it's colored in. Remember, this is a global transit that will affect the whole planet. So this is the channel of initiation, this 5125. Very important one. Maybe you have this natally, if you want to share, if you have it natally. And this is initiation from the willpower center into the self, the higher self. So it's a potential for initiation, and it's going to be spiritual nature just because the sun and the moon are in the 22. So the 22 is really interesting. And then look at this solar plexus. So, right. So here's the symbol down here. If you're not familiar with this in human design, that's called the solar plexus. This is going through a huge mutation, right, for 2027 that I've talked about in my other videos. And look at all those activations of the solar plexus. We've got the 36 with Neptune, the 22 with the sun and the moon, and the 37 is Saturn, and then Mars is 49, and Venus is the 30. So practically all of them except for two. So what does that say? Emotions, right? Emotional time for this new moon. So the 22, remember I talked about individual consciousness and collective consciousness and tribal consciousness. Those are the three types. So there's three types of circuitry too on the with the chart. And the 22 and the 12, the 12 is not activated. This is the channel of a social being, it's called, right? But it's individual. So that makes it really, really interesting. And it's called the gate of openness. The gate of openness. And what this is, it's about hearing. It's about hearing. So the 22 is connected to the left ear. It's connected to the left ear. And the 57, which is also activated by the South node, this is the right ear. This is the right ear. So how the right ear works here with the 57, it's coming off the spleen. So right away, it's like it's in the moment. It's instinct. This is our most ancient awareness system. So through the right ear, we get all the information. We get all the information in the present now moment. That's how the right ear works. Okay. But the left ear works differently because look, it's connected to the solar plexus. Solar plexus is not about in the present moment, it's time. And if you're an emotional being, meaning that you have that colored in, then you learn your clarity comes over time because we have to move through this emotional wave, right? So the 22 is left ear. Okay, so you're hearing, but you're not getting the whole picture. You get the whole picture over time. And maybe you've discovered that yourself. You're listening, you listen to what maybe let's talk about your partner or someone you're in conflict with or having some challenges with. And you're listening to them, and then you start to recollect. Do you know what I mean? You're away from your partner, and then you're going over your conversation, and then more and more information starts coming to you, but it wasn't in the now moment, right? That's the right ear. So this is the left ear and how that happens. And it's interesting, most people, if you're right-handed, you're listening with your right ear, right? Right, your right ear. So you're not well, you're getting the information in the moment, but some people listen to their with their left. I don't put the phone near my ears, and so I use speakerphone, so I'm getting the information through both ears. But just keep that in mind, right? Because this is the new moon, so we're going to be in this energy. Is don't assume that you're going to be getting all the information in the present now moment. That more information will come to you as you go through this wave. So the 22 says, "I'm open." Right? I'm open or I'm not open because it works like that, right? We live in a plane of duality. So I'm open or either I'm not open to listening. It depends on my mood, right? Whenever we're talking about the solar plexus, we're talking about the mood. What mood am I in? Which means where am I in my wave? Am I at the top of my wave or I'm in the bottom of my wave? I'm on top of the wave. I'm feeling great. Everything's wagyu, everything's awesome and amazing, right? Or I'm the bottom of my wave and everything's gone to the pot, right? I'm so pessimistic. Right. So it goes up and down, joy to pain, joy to pain. That's how the emotional wave works. So if you're in the low end of your wave, you're not interested, you're not open, right? And does this have to do with your willpower or wanting to listen? No, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with this mood, right? Whatever mood that you're in. So remember, we're all going to be activated by this gate. Um, okay, so when you're in the right mood, then you have a chance to listen and be open, and others have a chance to listen to be open. And this is the potential for a mutation. It's all the individual's all about mutation, right? So this means irrevocable change, just change that travels through another person and the people that come. It's like lighting someone's candle, right? Your candle is lit, the mutation is happening within you in terms of frequency, and then you're lighting every people around you, and then they light other people, right? And so on. And this is how we change as a humanity, this mutation. So that's interesting with this new moon. And then again the initiation. And then if we look at the tarot card, remember this is the third decan. of Pisces, because the new moon's in Pisces, and this correlates to the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is wish fulfilled, right? This is a good one. Wish fulfilled. This is emotional contentment. You can see him. The cups are like the emotions, and he's sitting there and he's quite happy, right? He's content. So it's wish fulfillment, it's gratitude, it's optimism, it's optimism. And remember that this new moon, well, I mean, we're getting close to the eclipse season here, right? So the moon's in 20 degrees, 16 minutes. And where's the node? The node's 1543. So it's about four degrees. 4 degrees off, so it's getting really, really close as an eclipse. So for this, like if we look at the tarot, it's like what some questions to ask yourself for this new moon, because we're starting a new cycle, right? This is a seed and it's eclipse. So it's about, 6 months into the future. 6 months it's going to be activating us, right? This energy. So what you're grateful for, what brings you a sense of emotional fulfillment, yeah. And how can you share your abundance? And doesn't it necessarily mean material abundance, but your happiness, your emotional fulfillment. How can I share that with others? So you want to be counting your blessings this new moon. And it's saying that good things are flowing your way. Good things are flowing your way. So maybe you felt you've really desired something and it was really coming from your soul, not from your ego and your mind. And so I really desire this. I know I can't let it go. It's like it's with me. It's coming from deep inside me. That's when you know that it's a soul desire to manifest, that will manifest in this incarnation. This is saying it's going to flow to you. It's going to flow to you. So you want to sit back and watch all these amazing things happen. And Pisces, I mean, the 22 is also the the gift, because each one has a gift and a city, right? That's the divine gift. And this is grace. This is grace. And the shadow, because we always have to transmute the shadow, is dishonor. It's dishonor. So this is about not listening. The shadow is about not listening, and that means not you personally not listening to your life, right? Because the 22 is also about the Akashic records, and that's everything. Is every action, word, and deed is recorded, right? Okay, and it's Jupiter and Pisces, the Nine of Cups. So it's about you being happy with your blessings and looking to the future with a spirit of trust, right? Trust and faith. And this is what we're learning. We're learning to have trust and faith, even when there, even when life seems so dark and hopeless, and like nothing is moving, no energy is moving. We're being tested, right? Spiritually tested to have faith and trust in the divine. So that's what this is saying. And then grace, like I said in my newsletter, it's a gift. It's a gift from the divine that you didn't have to earn. You didn't have to earn it by doing something. It just comes to you. Have you ever had that? Like that, the power, the spirit of grace just moves through your life, the synchronicities and spontaneity and creativity, optimism, hope, all that stuff. This is grace. So that's what this new moon is also saying too, right? In these next 6 months, things will start to unpack and unfold and flow and flow. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was this trust. we have to embrace this whole new way of being because life is really, really changing and shifting. And I'm sure that you're noticing that your old egoic ways are not working. They're not going to work anymore, right? The new way is the spirit awareness. That's the 2027 solar plexus mutation. This is how we're going to be experiencing life is through our spirit, right? So we have to really start to embrace trust and faith, and we have to trust our own being, right? This is not the doer. It's not the masculine energy. And this is not about gender. This is about frequency. Our masculine energy, our masculine frequency is doing. It's about doing. We now have to embrace our feminine frequency, which is being, and we have both. Everyone has both being and doing, right? The masculine and the feminine energy. And the being is your eternal self, right? That's your eternal self that's watching everything, that's watching, observing everything. And it's very, very powerful. When you start to trust it, it becomes more and more it's inviting, right? You're inviting this higher presence to come into your life. And what you're inviting is yourself, your true self. That's your being, right? We have all these false identities. This is what my retreats are about, and my webinars, all that is about letting go of these old identities that are false. They're not you, they're phantoms, right? And coming more into this being. So there's a great story about this. Okay, so you could call it being, you could call it presence, your presence, right? So, master of Kundalini Yoga, he's 7 or 8 years old, lives in a little town in India, and learned a lot from his grandmother, right? A lot. She was the wise woman of the village, and people would come to her if they were in conflict or they were with each other or they had some problems, they needed guidance, right? They needed wisdom, how to move through this. Spiritual wisdom, right? Spiritual wisdom and practical wisdom too. She's probably a fifth line. Anyway, he would watch her and one day, and many people would come to her, and she would just, make them some tea, and they'd sit down and they drink their tea. Anyway, after these people left, he said to her, "I don't understand. You fix all these people's problems, and they come and they're in distress, or they're in conflict with one another." And then everything seems to solve. You solve their problems. But he said, I don't see you doing anything. You don't do very much. You don't say very much. And she said, if your presence doesn't work, then nothing works. If your presence doesn't work, nothing works. So this is about trusting this grace, right? To let grace move through you. But you have to be empty. You have to be empty. And that's empty of these false identities, empty of thinking, right? When you're thinking, you're up in your head and you're not present, right? So it's about emptying yourself. That's what this time is about now. We're in this deconditioning process. We've been imposed upon from day one, and that's our conditioning. We've been imposed upon away from our authenticity, right? So this is about you, well, you, me, us, trusting our presence, trusting our beingness, knows best. And that's what's doing all the work. That's what's doing all the work. We're in this illusion that we're doing the work. The ego's doing the work. The mind's doing the work. But no, it's not. It's like that old story, another Indian story. Ramana, Matt, also a master, talked about people in India, right? They would put the suitcase on their head and then they go onto the train. And he said, why do people keep their suitcase on their head? Like, take your suitcase off and put it on the train. You're ending up in the same place anyway, right? So this is what we do. We think I think I'm carrying and moving with all this baggage on me, right? I'm not at all. So it's about dropping, right? Dropping your worries and your fears and anxieties. This is what it means to empty yourself. And so this presence can really come forward for you. So maybe the new moon, my guidance for you, suggestion for you, take it or leave it, is really start to embrace this. It's like, no, I'm going to invite this higher presence into my life. I'm going to really trust this, my own beingness that's here right now in this moment. You don't have to do anything to go out and get it. It's like right here in this moment, your beingness, your presence. I'm going to let my presence work. I'm not going to try to fix problems for people. I'm just going to be present. And this is what this 22 is saying is presence. This is the listening. I'm open. I'm open when I'm empty. When I'm empty, right? Of these false delusions of who I think I am, listening to those thoughts in my head. That's not me, right? I'm going to be open, right? I'm going to be open. I'm going to let my presence work. And let's see what happens, right? I've heard this from people. They have this addiction that I have to rescue, and I've got to do this for this person and that for that person. And if I don't do anything, the world is going to fall and collapse for this person. And then they start to embrace this new way of beingness, and then they're really shocked. So, oh, I didn't step in like I used to, like when my mind tells me that I have to step in and I have to do something. No, I stepped back and I let my presence work. And then suddenly things resolve themselves. Suddenly people step up that didn't step up before, right? So this is a good lesson for us for this new moon cycle. And then with the 2531, it's will be initiated. Initiated where? Into a new state of consciousness. A new state of consciousness. This is what it means to grow and evolve, right? So it's about restraining yourself, not listening to the mind, which is you have to do something, you have to do something. We have to let go of our addiction to doing and start to trust more and more in our being. And then this fits with the Nine of Cups. This will bring you your wish, right? Wish fulfillment. This will bring you um, your emotional fulfillment. Okay. Okay, let me look at some okay. Yeah. Okay. Um, what did I want to talk about next here? Okay. And then, and I think, yeah, Mars. Oh, Mars is at 20 degrees Aquarius, and then it's squaring Uranus is 19. So yeah, sudden. There can be sudden changes this new moon. Uranus is the great awakener, sudden changes. And then to restrain yourself from taking action, take action. You don't want to be doing that. Because Mars is like, I'm just going to act and I'll ask questions later. And the thing is with free will, spirit, this is a spiritual teaching. Yes, we have free will. We can choose to do and take action. But Mars will never let you know that Mars will always say, I want to do what I want to do right now because it's instinctual and this is free will. But it will never tell you that you have to deal with the consequences of that choice, right? It's about, yes, you have free will to make choices, but you have to deal with the consequences of your choice. And that's what the 22 is saying too, with the Akashic records, right? It's best to be smart, right? And to be wise and to check in with your soul before taking action, not your mind and your ego, but your soul, right? The ego is always looking to enhance itself. It's looking to run away from fear, right? You want to get smart. This is what a spiritual adult is, right? They check in with their soul first before they take action. It can be really, really quick, right? Very, very intuitive. Okay. And right, it's like Mars is activating the 49. Yeah. I don't want to go down that road with mundane astrology. There's lots of that on the internet. Okay. So I want to announce too that this year, all this year, 2024, the South Node is in Libra, and then the North Node is in Aries, and this is all about our relationships. So that theme is really, really up for us this year. So Aquarian relationship, online retreat. It's the next online retreat. And so our relationships are going through a huge mutation. Our relationships, our way of relating is changing for 2027. That's why we're seeing all these changes already, like the musical chairs with relationships. Because in 2027, the whole 400-year theme is shifting and changing, right? And for 400 years, since 1615, we've been motivated and genetically driven to come together to create families and communities and to have babies and to keep the species going, keep the species alive. It was all about family, right? It was all about family. And now in 2027, that's going through a huge shift. In the next 400 years, we're in this 55, right? And that's going through a huge mutation. And we're in the 6 line theme for 70 years. For 70 years, we're in the 6 line theme. And this is coming together for spiritual reasons, for a spiritual purpose, a higher spiritual purpose. It's not about family. It's not about the tribal consciousness, keeping the tribe alive, right? And it's individual. It's very individual. So we'll be talking about that, like the future of relationships. Be talking about like practical things like your unique ideal partner. What are the qualities? It's right in your chart. Where you'll meet them, right? Where you'll meet them. And so put Tinder out of business. Well, it depends on your chart. Tinder will work for you, but not all of you. So, and then what was the other thing I was going to say? The connection chart. So this is the connection chart here. That's why I chose this. So one person's blue, one person's green. So this shows you the purpose of your present relationship. So it doesn't necessarily just your romantic relationship. You can use this with your child or a close friend or something like that. And that gives you a lot more information too, right? And remember that I don't attract tons and tons of people. It's not my culture. So I have time to look at individual charts, like your individual charts, to give you more unique information. So looking at that and then your unique way of relating and plus the Kundalini yoga and meditation and then letting go of the past, right? Letting go of this inherited relationship blueprint, right? Why you're attracting these karma relationships and not your dharma relationships because you're not being yourself. You're not operating as yourself. So it's a real map. Okay. So keep that in mind as we move forward into this new age. Very exciting. Okay. So I want to do a reading for each type. So if you don't know your type, always go into the information box and you can go to get your free chart. You want to at least know your type because yes, we're taking our authority away from our mind, which is like making our decisions from our mind and moving out of this awareness system. This is what this evolution is all about, into the spirit awareness that we're moving into. So human design gives you a tool that you can use, and that's a strategy and an authority, right? So most people on the planet are generators and manifesting generators. All of them make up 70% of the world, right? So 35% are generators and the other 35 are MGs. They've got the open and enveloping aura. They're here to respond from their navel. So you respond down to your navel region. So you're responding to life, right? There's beingness right there for the generators. Generators are very yin, right? This is the world we're moving into. This is the feminine. We're moving more and more into the yin way of being, not the yang anymore. The yang's not going to work anymore, right? It's the yin. So this is for both men and women, right? Embracing your yin. And then you respond, right? So you're yes or no to whatever life is delivering to you. So a relationship, right? Your sacral will let you know if it's correct for you or not. And when you're not operating correctly and you're listening to your crazy mind, because generators and MGs have the most conditioned minds out of all the types. They've got the crazy out there, crazy, crazy, crazy mind, right? So there's a lot of deconditioning that has to happen for the generators, but they've got this really simple strategy with the yes or no from their sacral. And then when they're operating correctly, they want this is the nine, right? The nine of cups. They're fulfilled. They feel fulfilled. That's what they want in all parts of their life, relationships, their work, and their health. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the tarot this time. I haven't done the tarot in a while for each type. So if you could write down if you're a generator and then your profile, right? That will give you more information. So remember for this new moon, this is going to be activated for everybody, this channel. So remember how I use it because I'm a projector. I use my energy wisely, right? It's like, yes, maybe you don't have this natally. I don't have this natally, the channel of initiation, but then you can use it. You can harness it. You can harness this energy as long as you know that it's not yours. It's not consistent, but it's going to be activated, right? For this minute. Okay. So I'm going to pick maybe two cards for the generators. Okay. I'd like to look at blocks. Maybe what's blocking you from going in the flow, generators. Yeah. Okay. We'll just get like a situation card for the generators. Generators. Okay, so we got three cards jumped out, so let's take them. Okay, so what's coming through for the generators is the Ace of Cups. So aces are all about beginnings. This is about inspiration. The swords is about the mind. Look, it's cutting through the crown there. So inspiration, inspirational thoughts. That feels like that's what you want, some inspiration. But then you've got this, all right? So the Five of Wands, that's conflict, right? Conflict. And then the Three of Swords. And this is sorrow. So some kind of loss, right? So the conflict is mind and emotions. That's what I see here for the generators, right? So you've got your mind. And again, we've been trained because the feminine, right? I'm just speaking generally here now, like emotional, right? And then the masculine is more mental. Very simplistic, this, because we're complex beings, each one of us unique beings. So the conflict is between the mind and the emotions. So to me, it's the conflict between your masculine and your feminine energy, right? So the masculine always wants to be doing. I got to be productive. I got to get somewhere, right? That's basically the mind. I got to get that job. I got to go get that relationship, I got to do this, I got to do that and make things happen. This is the mind, right? And there's the feminine is calling you that you have some broken heart. You have a broken heart that you've got to deal with, right? And this is some sorrow. I was talking to someone the other day about this, about grief. I mean, that's a whole video. I may just do a video on grief, right? So grief is on the planet. Why is grief on the planet? Because our whole world is disappearing. Our world is disappearing in a sense. That old world is not coming back, right? And we can get nostalgic about that until we get to the reality of it, and it brings up grief. And that's in the heart, right? It's that emotion that's in the heart, this grief, right? And the grief is about loss. It's about losing something, grieving and grieving. And the grief is calling you to feel, right? It's just to feel it. So feel it. So that means bringing your awareness to your heart. Can do that now with me right now. So bringing your awareness to your heart, right? And just breathing and being present with it. And you'll feel your heart like, oh, there's sadness there. And then you may feel a little bit of movement. And before you jump back into your head generator, because that's what we're trained to do, you just gently keep bringing your awareness back to your heart, back to your heart, back to your heart. And it will start to move and break. And this is the grief. And that's the tears come, right? The crying comes. And that's the grief. And then you're done. That's the relief, right? It's a release of that pressure. So that's your conflict. Your conflict is between mind and heart, right? And look at that. The sword's going through the heart. And we've all had a broken heart, and right? This is part of the experience of being human on this planet Earth is having our hearts broken. So just meditate on this for this new moon, is really allow this 22, right? Pisces. This is deep, deep water, right? Goes right to the bottom, right? Right to the bottom. This is healing. It's healing energy, Pisces energy, the 22. It's deeply, deeply healing. It's just to let that grace, right? It's the gift of grace. Let that grace like flow over you. This healing waters, right? Heal your heart and not to be in conflict anymore. It's just about I'm not going to listen to my head. I'm just going to be in my heart. I'm going to be open, 22. I'm going to receive. I'm going to receive this deep, deep healing. Right? I'm not going to be afraid of my broken heart. It needs healing. That's what it's saying. It's calling you. It's calling you to heal from old loss. So meditate on all your losses you've experienced this year. And then inspiration can have, this is divine inspiration, right? Then the divine inspiration can come to you then. Yeah. But right now it's not going to come to you because you've got your work is to heal your heart. Okay. Anything else for the generators? No, that's it for the generators. Okay. So let's go for the MGs. And the manifesting generators have the same aura as the generators. Remember, they're all of you are 70% of the planet. So there's a bunch of you, right? MGs. And you're here to respond very yin. Remember, we're moving into the yin world. And yin is your feminine, right? So you're responding with a yes or no from your sacral. So life is delivering you everything. You don't have to go out and do and make things happen. You're letting go of this yang way of doing, right? Doing life, coming more and more into the yin. Does that mean you never take action anymore? No, but it means that it comes from the yin first. If you need to take any action, your yin, your feminine, your intuition will let you know when it's what to act, when to act, when not to act, right? So it's bringing your trust back to this, back to grace. That's the gift of this new moon. So when you're listening to your crazy mind, you're going to feel frustrated, and you're going to get more and more frustrated the more and more you listen to this mind, right? And so frustration is also anger. And where does anger go when you don't express it, right? It goes into the body, and the physical body has to express it for you. And the physical body is the one that we listen to, right? If when your health goes, it gets your attention, doesn't it? Right? Your body grabs your attention because that spiritual energy is saying there's some stuckness here, something stuck, something you've got to deal with. You got to go deeper than just the physical, right? There's a spiritual root to all of this. That's what that's saying. And then you want to feel fulfilled. Okay. So this is a time, MGs, to really let this power of grace into your life, to invite this higher presence into your life, which is just you, right? That's who you really are. I'm going to invite this higher presence, this divine frequency, right? To heal. Okay, so I'm going to grab some tarot cards for the MGs. So we're going to look at the situation, and then we're going to look at what's blocking you from receiving this grace. I'm going to put these back in. Put these generator cards back. I'm feeling there might be some duplication. Okay. So for the manifesting generators, we want to know what the situation is and what's blocking energies for this new moon. Let's see, okay, situation, what's the block? Just threw out. Oh, okay. The nine of swords. Nobody likes this one. This is up. I'm up at 3 a.m. and my mind is racing, right? I'm worried about everything, right? And you can see the person's in great distress, right? The hands on the head. And it's all swords, so it's all about the mind. And we talked about the generators and the MGs. Out of all the types, they got the crazy. They got the craziest mind. Their mind is the most conditioned mind out of all the types. This is their number one enemy, is their mind, their crazy mind. And that's this. That's the root of this, is this worry, 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 worry. Worry and anxiety and insomnia and stress. That's your hell. That's your living hell is inside your head. Okay. So there's no grace here. There's no openness here. How can this person be open at all? Because they're in their mind. Their mind's taking up all the space. So it's about emptying your mind, MGs. Right? And then you've got these two. And these are major arcana. So this is really important for you to listen to. So the 20 is the judgment card. This is the soul purpose card. There's the angels coming down with the trumpet saying, look, right? The resurrecting you, like you're one of these corpses, right? Why are you a corpse? Because you're here. You're not alive, right? Somebody that's worrying and fretting and anxious, and they're not alive, right? You're just in your mind. You're in a delusion, right? You're in a delusion. So this is resurrecting you, right? It's calling you to your soul purpose, right? The reason why you're here on this planet, what you've agreed to do, right? On this planet. And it usually involves other people, right? Your service, your contribution to humanity, right? And then the high priestess right there. And that's intuition. And this is your feminine, right? Your feminine energy. And the high priestess, I mean, if we look at human design, the high priestess is that 48. 48's not activated. The 48, this is the deep, deep well, right? This is the divine feminine, it's the 48. It's a deep, deep well, right? That your answers are deep within you, right? This is looking for answers in the wrong place. It's looking to your head and your mind, right? And I'm not judging you for it, but we all have to deal with this crazy mind. It's part of our path on the spiritual journey, right? We have to, our obstacle is our own mind. So then we have to transcend it, right? So there's the deep, deep well that the high priestess is saying that whatever you're worrying about, to relax, right? The best thing you can do, MGs, is relax. So relax your body, not just your body, relax your mind. That means not getting carried into the thoughts of your mind. Because the mind, like I said before, it's like a salesman. The mind and the ego are salesmen. They're really good salesmen. They're trying to sell you on a delusion. They're trying to sell you an identity, a costume to wear, right? And that, but it's up to you if you're going to believe it or not, right? So they can be the best salespeople in the world, but you're the one that has to purchase it, right? So this means not following the thoughts of your mind, not believing what you think. Those are not your thoughts. That's not who you are. So relaxing body, mind, and then your heart, and relaxing your heart, right? So that your heart can start to release grief and sadness. Yeah, right. So you want to be relaxing all three. And MGs are not good with relaxation, right? They're the racehorses because they have so much energy, right? But this new moon is saying to relax, listen, and then your intuition will come online. Your deep, 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 deep. This is presence, right? This is presence. This is your beingness, your beingness. This is who you really are, can really come forward, but you need to be in a relaxed state, right? And then the soul purpose comes. So it's going to come through your intuition. So that's what I see here is like this anxiety, right? And worry, and I did that meme the other day, like worry is praying for something bad to happen because using your creative energy to create something bad to happen. That's what worry is. And our conditioning is, oh, it means I care if I worry about someone. No, it doesn't. That's your conditioning. It's not true. It's not true. Okay, so this is about MGs, is trusting your beingness, trusting your presence. Go listen to the beginning of my video. So I talk a little bit more about that. And then your soul purpose can come forward because right now you can't do your soul purpose when you're in this state. You're in a delusion, you're in a fantasy, you're in your imagination, you're not here. You're right. Yeah. Anything else for the MGs with this? And then, of course, you'll be initiated, right? Into a higher state of consciousness. Right here. This is hell. Hell's not some burning You know, the fire, the pits of hell that that religion has sold us, right? That you'll be burning, eternal burning in hell. There's like, this is hell right here. We create our own hell or heaven right here on planet Earth in this incarnation. This is hell. So you want to start to make a choice, right? Do I want to stay here, MGs, or do you want to move forward into your soul purpose? Your ego and your mind want you here worrying and fretting and weak. This weakens you. This totally weakens you. It weakens your beingness. It weakens your presence. And then, but the relaxation, I'm getting that message really, really strong for the MGs. And then you can be initiated into a new higher state of consciousness, and that would be the heaven, more coming more and more into the heaven inside you. And then you share that with others. Okay. Okay, that's what I got for the MGs. And then let's see. And then we'll go to the manifestors. So the manifestors. I want to know how many manifestors watch me. There's a rumor that manifestors aren't interested in what anybody has to say to them, but I don't know if that's true. So 9% are manifestors. Okay, so they've got the closed and repelling aura. They're here to share, to inform, and then initiate. So divine download coming first, right? This is their inspiration. Right, and then they reflect, who will this impact? That's a big word for you. Who will this impact in my life? And then I share, right? I let them know. Then I initiate, and then I manifest. So when they're not operating correctly, maybe they're listening to their mind instead of the divine inspiration, they're angry, or they're not informing, they're not sharing because they don't want to be controlled, then they're angry, but they want to be at peace. So this strategy will give them peace. Okay. So I'm going to choose some cards for the manifestors. Some tarot cards. Okay. So just to see where you're blocked, right? Where you're blocked to receiving this grace. That's the gift of the new moon's grace. Okay. You know, we have to learn to slow down with this technological age. So it's like speed, everything seems to be speeding up. We have to be the polarity, right? And slow down. Okay. So what do we got for the manifestors? Especially where they're blocked and receiving grace, or even realizing that they have access to grace. Okay. There's one. And we have a block. And then we have a third one for the manifestors. Everybody's getting through. One. Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, you got some nice cards. All the cards are nice, but these ones are like classically nice. Good. Okay, so you've got the four of wands right there. Four of wands. And that's home. That's happiness, right? Look at them in their castle, and they're all happy. And fours are stability, right? So this is home. This is in your correct relationships too, right? This would be an Aquarian relationship, four of wands. And then you got the star right there. Another beautiful card. It's very healing, the healing card. It's an Aquarius card too. Major Arcana, and then Lovers card. Another one, right? ordained, divinely ordained, this couple. Okay. So the manifestors. Okay. How do we want to look at this? Let me get my pen out. Okay, so we've got some deep healing here, manifestors, and it's around your relationships. Relationship and your home. And your home. Yeah. So, well, it's saying that healing will happen through your relationships and home. So maybe you've been really blocked, right? Maybe you've been really blocked. And a lot of us have because we've had to face some major challenges in our lives. No one's exempt to that. So major challenges in our life, right? So maybe it's been around your home, maybe it's been around the theme of relationships. Well, this is the Nine of Cups, right? If you watch the beginning of my video, the new moon correlates to the Nine of Cups. So wish fulfillment, wish fulfillment. So to me, manifestors, this is about you learning to trust and have faith, right? And have faith, especially in terms of your relationship. So I would say in terms of your strategy, the sharing is start to share more this new moon, right? As you share, I know what it is. So as you share more and inform with your relationship, then more and more of this grace, the 22, right? The new moon is grace can come through for you. And that's deeply, deeply healing. Yeah. Okay. Just want to check something here with that star. And it's also it's keeping hope, right? So trust and faith and then hope, right? Stay optimistic. Don't let that ego drag you down, right? The ego wants you in low frequency because that's where it thrives and lives. You'll notice that when your vibration starts to really, you may have had moments of this because we go up and down, right? But we're learning to stabilize. Is that if your vibration is low, right, and you go into these states of despair or hopelessness or feeling powerless to change, then ego loves that space. That's the ego's atmosphere. Oh, I love this, right? Misery loves company. Misery loves ego. Ego loves that, loves swimming in that swamp, right? But as soon as you raise your frequency through meditation and through spiritual practice and watching your mind, make sure that your mind is in a high frequency state, the ego can't climb up there, right? It can't live in that atmosphere. It needs the swamp, the dirty, rotten swamp. Can't be on the top of the mountain with you, right? Can't live in that state. So also this is part of your healing too. So I would say to have gratitude too for your home and your relationship. Yeah, is to bring that in and know that your wishes are arriving. This is what this card is saying too, right? Yeah, and how you nourish your spirit. So let the divine guidance come in. Like, how can I nourish my spirit? Because just simply we need to eat certain foods and drink water to keep our body nourished. But we also have our spirit. We got to nourish our spirit too. So what feeds your spirit? Don't starve your spirit. For me, it's music. I love music or being around people you love or your pets, right? Just whatever you really, really love. Could be your art or writing or something like that. What nourishes your spirit to really bring that in. Yeah. Okay. And it's about trust, right? So the big message is trust the future, right? And that goes with the South Node. This is a total distrust in the future, fear of the future. We're letting that go. You want to trust the future because the future is taking you into higher states of consciousness. Okay, so keep your faith for this new moon. Because good things are here for the manifestors. Okay, let's create anything for the else for the manifestors. And the divine is in charge. That's what I see with that lover's card. The divine is in charge of it all, right? So to have trust and faith in that. Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm giving good news. Okay. Let's see what we got for the projectors. And I'm just assuming the projectors watched the video right from the beginning. If you're a good projector, you did. Yeah, because we like to learn. I'm a projector. We like to learn about the other types. So the projectors have the focused and absorbing aura. They're here to guide others. It's a big word for projectors. We're like the guides and the teachers, right? Focused and absorbing aura. And they're here to be recognized by the other types. And then they're invited to help. Please, projector, please help me. And then that's this beautiful exchange happens, and then they feel successful. And it's a win-win for the projector and the other type. But when they're not operating correctly, and they're trying to help people that don't want any help, that don't recognize you, they can't see you, then you're going to feel bitter. Right? Okay, so I'm going to pick some tarot cards for the projector and see what this new moon, especially block to grace, right? That's the gift of this new moon is grace. Okay. And this is for our projector friends. And we really want to see what's blocking. Whoops, there. Blocking grace. Okay. Projectors, do not lose faith. This is your time. We're entering in your time, especially with Pluto and Aquarius, because projectors didn't exist until the discovery of Uranus, and that's when the projectors started to come on the planet. Right? So we're very Uranian projectors. And Pluto's in Aquarius, and Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius in 1781. And our time is coming. More and more people will need your help and your guidance because we're entering into a spiritual energy world, right? Okay. Okay, so projector is what's blocking the projector, and then the other projector needs. No. This is for our projector friends. Fell out. Oh, that's way too many. Okay. These only too many too. Okay. I just want to. Like they have a life of their own, these cards. Okay. It's so different than when I just do my own reading. Because I'm feeling your energy, projectors. Okay. But we want to be clear and efficient. Okay. You want those? I'm just going to do two more just in case. Okay. Well, you got the projector tarot card. You see that? That's the Six of Wands. That's the projector at her peak, right? This is success. This is victory. This is recognition. Recognition there. So the other one is I picked this one myself actually for me, is the Queen of Swords. Just want to grab something before I get into this. Keep me on track. There you go. Of course, it's going to be the last one. There we go. Okay. And then you've got the Seven of Pentacles there. So this is investment, right? He's looking, he's waiting, but he's not noticing this one pentacle that he already has, right? So this is waiting for the harvest. And then you've got the Queen of Swords. Okay. So this is about expression, like the Queen of Swords is about expression. And it's Libra. So it has to do with your relationships. So this is communication, but it's clear communication. It's clear. It's not emotional, right? It's just clear. Does it mean that it doesn't have feeling with it? No, no. It can have feeling, but your emotions are clear. You're not in emotionality, but you're in your feeling tone. That's the purpose of the solar plexus mutation, is we're not in these crazy emotional states, but we're in this clear feeling tone, right? So people can, when you communicate, right? When you're communicating projectors, they're feeling you, they're feeling your words, not just what you're saying intellectually, but they actually feel your words. You feel your words and they feel good. Feels good to them, right? So this is about boundary setting. So maybe you're being have some lessons around boundaries. But it's really about what I feel like this is the block here, is what aren't you expressing? What do you need to express? Maybe it's to a loved one, right? Or a family member or someone in your community, something you've been holding back. That's what this is saying. You've been holding back in your expression. And maybe it's coming out through throat problems, right? Blocked throat chakra or sore throat or even ear stuff can happen too. These are all signs that you're not expressing. And also jaw. I'm dealing with my own jaw thing. And that's where we store anger, right? So maybe you're being called to say something. Maybe you've been invited. Maybe you've been invited by that other person to say something, but you're holding yourself back, right? So this is the one thing that we've got to let go of, is the past. Well, you might say, projector friend, you might say, well, Michael, it's like that's not well received sometimes. And it's like sometimes I don't want that reaction, especially if have an open solar plexus and you're undefined emotionally. I don't want their reaction. I don't want to go through that, right? That experience, right, of that other person lashing out at me. And then what you do is this authentic energy, because this is your authentic self. It starts to move through you, and then you're suppressing it and you're repressing it. And this is where the body shows you, right? The body will show you where you're repressing. Um, okay. So that's what I would look at there, is start to express and let grace move through your expression. right? Don't go into your mind and strategize like, well, I'm going to say this and I'll say it like this and I'll tiptoe around this area. It's like, no, I'm just going to be present. 22. I'm going to be present and I'm going to be open. That's the 22. I'm going to be present and open. And then I'm going to invite this grace to move through me, right? And when this grace moves through me, then it's going to come right from my heart and then out through my mouth, the perfect words, right? Because it's really about your vibration. It's not necessarily about the words that you choose. It's about your vibration. Um, and this will give you recognition, right? People will really recognize you then. It's like, oh, he's a straight shooter. She's a straight shooter. She's going to give me the guidance that I'm looking for, right? And this is what you want as a projector. You want to be recognized. This is victory for the projector. Um, and then with the Seven of Pentacles, it's about investment right there. Yeah. And so this is looking at the long-term view. It's waiting. It's like waiting and having patience. And maybe you're at a stage now, projector, where it's like, you know, I know every projector knows this. I know that I'm here. I'm here for a purpose, a higher purpose. And I'm so interested in helping other people. I can't stuff it down, right? That's my higher purpose. And yet it's not happening, right? It's not happening. So the Seven of Pentacles is saying to wait. This is waiting for the invitation. This is having patience, right? With your aura. The projector's aura will draw in the invitations to her, to him or her, right? Yeah. So to invest. Okay. So be patient. But then the other question is, what are you investing in? Right? How are you spending your time? And remember, the projector has to study. They have to study. They've got to research the projector. Doesn't matter what authority you have, right? Study and research. And you're learning, you're here to master a system, whatever that system is for you. Maybe it's a synergy of different systems, right? So, how are you spending your time right now? Even if you're not, well, nobody's recognizing me, nobody's inviting me. This, don't let that stop you from studying. That's what the seven, look at the long term. That's what this message is. And the long term is my lifetime. It's my lifetime. I'm looking at the big picture, right? So that you're ready and prepared. Yeah. And fortune loves people who are ready and prepared. That's what luck is. That's the fortunate. You're ready and you're prepared to go. You're ready for that invitation. Yeah. And you're clear, right? Clear in your expression. So now it's time to start practicing for the ones that do invite you. It's like, okay, my long-term view is I'm here to help guide the other types, right? I'm here to help them use their energy efficiently. I'm here to help them be their authentic self, right? Yeah. Um, and what else for the projectors? And then you will be initiated into a new state of consciousness. Yeah. And just trust that grace is you're in a flow. And it's called your destiny. This is the flow that you have to surrender to, but to prepare. Yeah. Okay. Anything else for the projectors? And be open. Be open to your life changing and shifting, right? You may become very, very busy this year. Just to be open to that. Okay. But also the Queen of Swords is saying to be discerning, right? Don't go for the people that don't recognize you and don't invite you, right? This is the Queen of Swords knows. No, not for me. Ah, for me. Yeah. Okay. That's what I got for the projector. And then let's go for the reflectors. And the reflectors I always like to hear from because they're only 1%. 1%. And I know the reflectors probably watch the whole video. So I'm picking some cards, some tarot cards for the reflectors. And so that's a beautiful moon energy for you to experience. The gate of openness, the gate of grace. About listening. We'll see. Sorry to do that. It's my chair. Okay. I'm going to pick some tarot cards for the reflector friends. And we're going to see where the reflectors are blocking grace from coming to them into their life. Yeah, for the reflectors. And I love the bookend, right, of the reflector to kind of close it up. What do we have? Their friends, especially where they're blocked with grace, where they're not open, dishonoring themselves. What do we have? What do we have? So we have one more. We have three. There. Okay. Interesting. Well, you've got the Two of Swords right there. And you can see with her, she's got the two swords, the crescent moon up there. And then you can see that she could just drop. This is all about indecision, right? She could just drop the swords and take off that blindfold, right? So this is not the reflectors that refusing to make a decision, refusing to make a choice. And then you've got the Eight of Wands, which is like giddy up. This is the giddy up card. This is one of the fastest, along with the Wheel of Fortune and the Chariot, right? The Eight of Wands. For minor arcana, this is like giddy up. It's time to go, 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 go. This is movement, right? Look at all those Eight of Wands, right? And it's about communication too. And then it's the Three of Pentacles. That's working together. That's collaboration with others. Pentacles, so it's material, right? The pentacles are very material, and this is energy, right? And this is your mind. So that's where the block is your mind, and you're trying to with this new moon. It's time to make a decision. Make a decision. Make a choice. Make your choice, and then bust a move. Yeah. And I feel like the grace, right? There can be some fear, well, it's not going to work out for me. And what if, well, what about this? Because the Two of Swords is the back and forth. Well, if I did this, then this would happen. But if I did this, then that would happen. And then it's back and forth. This is the polarity of the mind, and the mind will always play you like a ping pong game, right? Back and forth, back and forth. And meanwhile, you're sitting there and probably getting stressed out, a little bit stressed out, like in the mind that I can't make a choice. And so this energy reflector is saying to open, 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 22, right? Open, 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 empty yourself, empty your mind, because there's probably something else. This is how the mind works, right? It's the back and forth, and your intuition is cut off, completely cut off when you're in the Two of Swords. That there's some other more creative, more aligned with you, something that wants to come through grace. This is your divine gift, but it can't come through because your mind is too full. It's too full. So you want to empty it, because I really feel like there's a third option that wants to come through for you. And it's all about we'll get you moving for this new moon. Remember, this is a cycle, 30-day cycle. We'll get you moving and communicating, and then with the group, collaborating with the group. Maybe you're like back and forth about this group, this Three of Pentacles, and working with these people, this group. Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, this is not about making a rash decision, you know? So just wait till the new moon on the 10th, right? March 10th. And then this grace is going to come through. And then it's a crescent moon. So the new moon energy, you never make like, oh, I'm going to take action on the new moon. The new moon is dark, right? The new moon is, you can't see it. You can't see the moon. You wait until 3 days after, when it's the crescent moon. You see her, she's the crescent moon. And then you take action, right? And then you take action. But in meantime, is open yourself. I don't know. Go into the space I know that I don't know. And then you're open to the unknown, right? The unknown. Yeah. It's about working with people, groups of people, and that's where you belong as a reflector, right? The groups that really get you. You're quirky, right? Your quirkiness as a reflector. Yeah. And watch that. Like you're the expert of the moon, the reflectors. Okay. So that's what I have for this live stream. And it was such a pleasure to be on here. So keep in mind the Aquarian Relationship Online Retreat. If you want to find out more information about that, then go on my website. I've got more information there. And remember, it's small groups of people. So it's not like last time was 21 people. So it's a good group. And you get to, it's like my own little private Facebook, but it's not like Facebook. It's like Facebook, but not Facebook, but it's private on my membership site. And then everything is there, right? So you're not going off to Zoom or YouTube or anything. It's like all within that space. And then you can communicate with one another and with me and stuff. And I hope to see you on there. You got a couple more weeks to decide. So go inside, am I responding yes or no, right? Am I getting the divine guidance, the manifestors, or I'm inviting you projectors? Are you getting the zing? Okay. So have a great new moon, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, take care, everybody. Satnam Aloha.